Hope everybody is having a great day. I am coming to you live from Aruba. Actually just getting ready to hop on a flight, so coming on here a little bit earlier than usual, but I promised Facebook Lives every other week, and so here we are. So today I wanted to share a little bit about Be Bright and how that name came to be. When I made the decision to start my own business, there was one thing I knew. Well, there was two. I knew that it was going to be an events company that plans events for people who empower and inspire others. And I knew that the word be was going to be in the title, but that's all I knew. And it took me probably 3 or 4 weeks of going back and forth. I literally had this notebook where I wrote down adjective after adjective, like just trying to figure out what the word was for my, hey, Katie, what the perfect word to follow be was that encompasses everything that I am, everything that I believe in, everything that I stand for, and everything that my company is going to do. Well, and really I was paralyzed because I had the thought or the excuse that in order to start my business, I had to have a name. I couldn't do anything else, which of course that is not true at all, but that was kind of the excuse that I needed. And so I put so much pressure on myself to find the right word. Then I would come up with a word and I would check and the domain wouldn't be there. And then I would come up with a word, I'd like it, the domain would be available. I'd wake up the next morning, wasn't there, wasn't the right one, didn't feel right. Anyway, after about 3 or 4 weeks, one of my friends who is a certified neurolinguistic master practitioner was like, it's not coming to you because you're thinking with your heart or with your head. You're not thinking with your heart. You're asking your conscious mind. Would you be open to being hypnotized and thinking with, seeing what your unconscious mind comes up with? So at this point, I'm desperate and I'm willing to try anything. And I want to say much to my surprise, but I'm not surprised because I've learned over the past year just the power of your unconscious mind and what it's capable of. But anyway, so I was hypnotized. I did a visual hypnosis where he walked me through a process. And I'm not going to go into the details of it, but to make a very long story short, after about 15 minutes, when I came back, the word that was in my head was bright. That was the word that I saw on this chalkboard that I was writing on in my visualization. And I went and I looked through all of my pages, and the word bright was not on there once. I checked, the domain was available. I felt relieved. I felt like this was it. So Be Bright is what I came up with. But first, let me rewind. The reason that I wanted to use the word be, for a couple of months, I had wanted a tattoo on my inside of my wrist, just the lowercase be in typewriter script. And I wanted that as a constant reminder for myself to just remind whatever I need at any given time, be here, be present, be gracious, be mindful, be patient, be creative, be calm, whatever it is at that moment for me to have that constant reminder of be. But I still wasn't ready to pull the trigger, didn't get the tattoo, anything like that. Hey, Laurie. Hey, Allie, Jody. Thanks, guys, for joining. Wasn't ready for the tattoo. Those things are permanent. Has to mean something. On my live a couple weeks ago, I shared with you the event that I was at where I had this clarity where I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I am planning events for purpose-driven entrepreneurs, and I am going to help them inspire people everywhere. So had that realization, but at the same event, they explained a philosophy that Katie, I know you're familiar with, some others of you might be familiar with it as well. And it's the philosophy of be, do, have. And most of us, we all believe that in order to have the things we want in life, we have to do these things in order to be the person we want to become. But it's actually the other way around. It's really be, do, have. So as they were talking about this, I started thinking about it. And the whole idea of this is that in order for you to do the things that you want to do and have the results that you want, you have to live within this alignment of yourself. You have to create your way of being. And then living in your way of being every single day will propel you to do the actions in order to have the results of the things that you like. So be is the personal piece of it, do is the process, and then have is what gives you the results. So in this, I learned, for me, my way of being, in order for me to do and have all the things that I want in the world, I have to be what I have come up with for myself. What speaks to me is I have to be a strong, confident, fearless leader. And so every day I remind myself of that. And when I get in ruts, and we all get in ruts, when I hit an obstacle and I feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Where did this go? Every single time I'm like, who do you have to be? And as soon as you step back into your way of being, it propels you in that action. So that was where be came from. And then if you look up the definition of be, it's to exist, to occur, take place, to have identity with. And then, you know, when bright came into the picture, you know, bright defined is giving out and reflecting light, shining. A person who is bright is intelligent, they're smart. You know, it could also mean lively, vivacious, cheerful. And then as a bold, or as a noun, it's bold and vivid. So when you put those two things together, be bright, it encompasses everything that I am and everything that the people that I am helping to plan events for are, and what they're doing and who they are, you know, and what they are passing on. So be bright just felt like the perfect thing for me. Once I got through that, I realized that, you know, the sign that I needed for be was at that event. Then the name came up, then I did it. I went and I got the tattoo on my wrist. So part of the reason that I chose this font actually is it's a serif font. It's a serif font. So I'm a font nerd. I've always been a font nerd. I know some of you guys that are on here are probably laughing at me saying that. But they say that fonts that have serifs, which are the little lines, it stands for, or it shows, you know, reliability, respectability, reputable, dependable, which are all ways that I show up in the world and all ways that my company shows up for our clients. So that was a no-brainer. I knew the font that I wanted. I knew that I wanted to have the words Be Bright Events, and I knew that I wanted to have an icon as well, but I didn't have any vision outside of that. So then I kind of started geeking out, reading about branding and identity and colors and all of that. And so obviously with Be Bright, I'm not going to have, you know, even though I wanted mermaid. Hey, Jill. Oh my goodness. It's so much fun when your old school college roommate hops on. But I digress. So obviously for me, I wanted mermaid colors because those are my colors. I joke around that I was a mermaid in a previous life. But anyway, but that wasn't going to go with Be Bright. Those aren't bright colors. So then I started reading about the psychology of colors and what goes into that. And different colors have different associations for different people, both consciously and unconsciously. But as I did more research, I read that the color red, so I wish that I had something here that I could pick up and hold my logo so you could look at it. But the color red, obviously, energy, passion, action, and it gains attention. You think about brands like Coca-Cola, brands like Spanx. I mean, they are red, power, passion brands, right? And then when I was reading about orange, orange is a positivity color, which I love for everything that I'm doing. It's a fire color. I'm a Leo, fire sign. The sun, obviously, I love the sun. I am a sun goddess. This is my happy place. And it's fun, and it stimulates mental activity. And then you bring the yellow into it, and yellow, they say, that those are colors that instill optimism and youth. They're fun, they're cheerful, you know, they explore creativity and playfulness. So when you combine all of those colors together, it seemed like the perfect all-encompassing of Be Bright Events, what it is that we do, who I am as a person, and you know, how I want my company to show up. So then took it one step further, and I started reading about what it means when you start to intertwine and intermingle these colors. And it was super, super interesting because they say that when you combine red and orange, it creates motivation. Okay, well, what am I doing for my clients? I am motivating them to get, you know, to overcome whatever fear they may have, to get on stage and share their message and change lives. They all have these amazing, you know, messages to share. They all are living a life of purpose and passion. And so, you know, the red and orange together creates that motivation for them to take that next step and share those messages. Then when you combine the red energy and the yellow optimism, it said that you get spunk, which people have referred to me as spunky and firecracker and whatever. So I chuckled about that. But also enthusiasm and being extroverted. So that obviously is who I am. But also for my clients and the way that they need to show up, the way that they are showing up, they're motivating, they're putting themselves on stage, being extroverted. So when you put all of those colors together, you get confidence and self-esteem and motivation and positivity, cheerful optimism. So I feel like all of that, and this is just before I even knew what my logo was going to look like, but just knowing the colors, the fonts, and the deep meaning behind all of that for me gave me what I needed to be able to take that next step forward. So I'm curious, for those of you that are on, for those of you that have your own businesses, did you go through this struggle of trying to figure out what your company name was going to be? And then once you did figure it out, did you like geek out on the colors and fonts like I did, or is that just me? I always wanted to be a graphic designer. That was one of the things that I thought I might do back in the day. But I enjoy speaking with people too much, and that's just being behind a computer. So anyway, where was I going with this? So that was for the colors. That was how it all came to be. Do have. I lucked out with a designer. I bid it out on a couple of different designers on Fiverr, and all I told them was, this is the font that I want, and these are the colors. I want to have text, and I want to have a logo. And this is what, and, after multiple renditions coming out, I finally landed on that one. And the coolest part about it, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, because I didn't notice it. It was actually the person who hypnotized me that helped me tap into my unconscious mind to come up with Be Bright. Notice that if you look at the double B, it actually has the infinity symbol. So after that came out, it just all felt like it was meant to be. I feel like I've said B a lot on this post, but I don't know. It was one of those things that I allowed not having a name and not having a logo to hold me back at the beginning, because I felt like I didn't have anything to show. And really, the only thing to show is me. As long as I show up and share my message and what I'm doing and how I'm helping people and how they're helping people, everything else will fall into place. So, for me, it means a lot that my logo has such meaning for me. Sorry, my mom's telling me it's time to go on the flight. That it has so much meaning for me. I have this on my wrist. For those of you on here who are entrepreneurs, you know what that is like. Every day is a challenge. Every day you are doing amazing things and accomplishing things, but you are living outside of your comfort zone. And so this is just always a reminder to me to be strong, be confident, be fearless, for me to, be motivating and positive, inspiring, cheerful, and just present and gracious, just all the different things all the different words that you can put outside of be. So thank you guys for joining me. This was a little rambly and kind of all over the place, but I did want to share that because it lights me up inside. It makes me super excited. And I love geeking out on colors, fonts, logos, all that stuff. So if you guys are in the place where you are doing that and want to chat, I would love to chit chat about it. I am curious if you have been in the same place that I am, or if you just knew exactly what it was, sketched it out, and it was done. And I'm also curious about, what do you guys want to hear about? I said that I would come on here and just share a little bit of me and who I am in my business, but I want to talk about things that matter for you. So whether that's, more just behind the scenes of me building my business, whether that's just the daily life of an entrepreneur, if you guys are planning events or thinking about planning events and want to know about venue selection or building a budget or, whatever it may be. And it doesn't even have to be events related or my business related. I just want to get on here, share a little bit of me. This is me stepping outside of my comfort zone, getting on live and talking to you guys every other week. So, I would love any feedback that you have on what topics might be of the most interest to you. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Scott, Stacy, Adam, Alex, Jessica, Sarah, thank you guys for joining. It's so much fun doing these because I see names of people that I just don't stay in contact with too much anymore, but it's super cool seeing all of your names. Oh, there's Mom. Mom just joined. That means it's time to go to the airport. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Make it a great, bright, fantastic day. And leave in the comments what you would like to hear about in a couple of weeks. I will talk to you guys soon.